Hey everybody, welcome back to another Gravity's. Welcome back to another Gravity's dev stream. This is what powers me. Yeah. Hey Dwarf Ninja, how's it going? I'm doing great. It's raining here. It's very cold. I turned on the heater. But yeah, it's a good day. Oh, let's see. What am I going to do today? I think I'm going to do some 3D. I don't even know where to begin. Okay, these things. Those babies. I think I'm going to do something with these. Those are fine. Come on. Alright, those are fine. I like those a lot. But those only suit the rocky worlds. So there's two things I want to do today. One, asteroids, great. See these asteroids? Fantastic. But I would like these guys to only appear near these red rocky walls. Boom. And then over here by these blue icy walls, I want ice rocks to appear. So right now, these asteroids are spawning in based on their proximity, based on how many there are and their proximity to the camera. They only spawn in near the camera position. So like you see all these rocks, and if I go to the editor, right, they're only here nearby. There's none over here. But if I move the camera over here, do they start spawning in over here? It must be proximity to the player as well. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, it's proximity to the player. Okay, so that's fine. But what I want to do is change it to be proximity to the walls. Maybe proximity to the player, but the player keeps track of what walls are nearby. Or I have the game keep track of what walls are in camera view and spawn those types of asteroids. Something like that. So I need to change that implementation of how the asteroids come in. And I want to also make some icy asteroids. And I was thinking of doing it in 3D because why not? I'll just give it a try. What I want to do is model something, have it rotate. Let's see. You could do a transparent film when you're rendering stuff in Blender. And you can also do a resolution. This will be the resolution of the camera. I want it to be a square picture, probably something like that. Let me see what size my other asteroids are. What size is this sprite? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 12 frames of animation. Okay, that's good to know. I need to load this up. asteroids, textures. It's a 32 by 32. Okay, so I'll stick with 32 by 32 in the output window. And I want it to do 12 frames at 12 frames a second. And I think what that'll do is it'll actually just render exactly 12 frames. So I can have whatever I model here, just do one 360-degree rotation, and it'll render it out as a 32 by 32, 12 frames. I can have it render PNGs, so it'll render a sequence of images. And then I can load that into Sprite and paint over it. That's the plan. Let's see how that works. So first things first. Well, second things first. First things second. Number 2. Ice asteroids. Let's look up some reference. I don't know what an ice asteroid should look like. Yeah, see, I kind of have this in my head. Oh, this is kind of neat. Those are neat. I think I want something like this. These chunks, you know? Chunky, rocky looking, bouldery things, but I want them to be semi... what do you call them? Semi-transparent, translucent? No, Saturn? I think Saturn's supposed to be surrounded by ice, right? I don't know if we have any actual pictures of it. I mean, I don't want to go for realism anyway, really. But those are cool. See, these are very rocky. I mean, I'm making a sci-fi game, so I'm gonna go a little cuckoo. Pure water ice. Crystals. Maybe. Maybe both. Some kind of fancy rim lighting, maybe. All right, well, first things first. Let's see if we can... Hey, Max. Let's see if we can get a rocky shape. So I'm trying to remember how to use Blender here. I don't use it very much. But yeah. Oh, actually, let's set up the camera. So I think for this, I want an orthographic camera. I'm already lost. Where is that setting? Here. Orthographic. How do I see... I can never remember how to create a new pane. A new panel. Is it... Yeah, there it is. So then I can do this view, camera view. And I can put the camera... Let's see. Let's put it at 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0. We want to rotate it around X by 90. And then back it up on the Y by 5 meters, something like that. There we go. So that's something. Maybe 1 meter? Oh, it doesn't matter. There's no perspective. So I can, because it's an orthographic camera, there's no... Things don't get smaller or bigger. So I have to change the scale. I want to kind of replicate this proportion. Let's do a test render. Yeah, let's do a test render. So I'm going to take this cube. Here's my camera view. And I need to rotate it around Z, right? 360 degrees. So here's my timeline. There's my 12 frames. So at frame 1, the rotation around Z will be 0. And then at frame 12, it's going to be 360. Right? Oh, it's doing a funny easing thing. Where's the dope sheet? Is there a way to just make this curve flat? Aha. T. T linear. Did nothing. Hey, Avi. Why didn't that do anything? I can move them. Oh, it's the wrong one. What is this? The Z, interpolation linear. Nothing happened again. Okay. I selected everything and told it interpolate linear. So now when yeah, so that's correct. So it's just rotating. And if I render this, let me pick a place where I can render it. Let's save this file. I don't want to put it in the game folder. I'm going to render this outside of the game folder. Ice asteroid. And I'm going to render that in the same folder. Like that. PNG, RGBA. I already set the film to be transparent. Let's just render it and see what happens. I was surprising myself with how much I remember of this. Okay, it's doing something. Looks kind of like it's rotating. Ah, yeah. Okay, so that's doing something. It's not a beautiful animation, but it works. So this works. Found a font you like for your banner. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So one thing that I'm getting here that I don't like is I'm getting all this anti-aliasing. Or what is this? Is this blur? Like motion blur? Couldn't be motion blur, could it? I wonder if there's a way in here to make it render. To render without doing anything like that. I'm still not seeing this the way I would like. I'm going to try and add a modifier. Well, let's subdivide. Let's do a subdivision modifier first. I'm trying to remember how to do this. I think usually you want to add a subdivision modifier first. And then you do a like... Well, let's do a couple of levels. Like that. And then we'll do a decimate modifier. That's not right. So regular. Is there a... I want some kind of weird, like... Kind of interesting. What if I did that and then did a decimate? Don't like that at all. What if... What if I actually just subdivided it? Whoa, I haven't used Blender in a long time. Wow, this is cool. I still don't know how to subdivide. Yeah, I'm trying to make an asteroid in 3D. So there's my 3D camera, there's my asteroid, and I'm trying to make something. This is the camera view, and I'm rendering it out as 12 frames of animation, and then I'm going to paint over it. How do I subdivide? I honestly can't figure it out. Maybe, you know what I'll do? I'll do it this way. I'll do subdivide like this, and then you can bake these in, right? You can apply them somehow. There it is. Apply. Okay, so now it's permanent. And then I can go in and do a sculpt mode, right? And make it look more wonky. Be easier with my pen. I'm doing this with the mouse. I'm killing myself. Hey there, Codera. How you doing? Codera? Codera? Codero? Coder. Of course. I'm bad at guessing vanity license plates too. All right, got my pen out. See, this already feels better. How come this is only cutting in? Is there a way to make it play C how come it's not adding? What is this one? This one's adding. Once again, you're witnessing my chaotic process where I don't know what I'm doing and just try and do it anyway. And I don't read the instruction manual. And yeah, just try and make it work. Let's give that a spin, see how that looks. Not so shabby. How do I make this smooth? Is this not it? No. Wow, it's like they've moved all my cheese. Yeah, I figured there was some kind of key, like shift or control or something. I couldn't figure it out. Shear trans. I love this toolbar. It's super helpful. Aha. Shade smooth. There we go. Yeah, that's looking rocky, right? Rotating. All right, let's go back into sculpt mode. Let's make this really, what do you call it? Let's not be subtle. It's looking like a boulder, which is not quite what I wanted. I want something more like faceted, you know, like a crystal. So what I think I'm going to do is try and find a brush or something on here. It's kind of cool that I can animate it to turn it around. I'm looking at it from the camera's angle. So I'm going to try and find something on here that'll let me flatten things out. Inflate, blob, crease. What does crease do? Oh, it's kind of... Okay, I get it. There must be something on here that does like a... Oh, neat. That does like a flattening thing. Bone layer, inflate. Ah, flatten. And then how do I increase the size of this brush? Okay, it's the square brackets. So that'll be flattened, and that should be flattened, and that can be a little flattened, and this can be flattened, like that. I feel like I'm already spending way too much time on this, but it's been what? It's been 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It's nothing. I only really need to be concerned about one axis because this is a 2D game. So this thing's going to rotate one direction only, basically. It's going to rotate around one axis, and that's all I need because it's a 2D game. So I don't really need to care about the top or the bottom so much. Let's see how that looks. Getting there. How can I make that sharper? Oh, interesting. You select a bunch of faces and scale them to 0. I think I know what that means, but I don't know how to do it. But it sounds cool. Where's my camera? Is there a brush? Maybe this one. I think this one maybe could make the corners a little sharper. Whoa, what'd I just do? So many hotkeys. What is the hotkey for this? P. P for pinch. Uh-oh. Getting some kind of clipping. Okay, I'm kind of liking that. I'm liking these hard kind of edges that I'm getting here. Making it look more crystalline. Ice is a crystal, right? Feeling like a little, like, 3D Bob Ross right now. Working on my happy asteroids. Is there a way to change the strength of this thing? Aha. Aha. All right, raise strength. Let's make it really strong, this pinching effect. Getting some weird clipping here, but I don't really care. I don't think I care, because again, I'm probably going to do a paint over in Aseprite anyway, so I just want something to kind of guide me in terms of rotation and shape, getting the contours right. I'm hoping this will speed up the hand animation process a little bit to the point where I just have to do a little cleanup maybe. So this is the back. I was kind of ignoring the back. It's looking pretty good. These little holes bother me. Can I... There must be a brush for this. I'm using something called an inflate brush, which is like pushing this stuff back out towards me to heal those breaks. It's like rounding it out, making it more convex, I guess is the word. Whoa. Blob? Oh, I really screwed this one up. Is there a smoothing one? Nudge? Pinch? Don't even know what this means. Oh. Nope, don't want that. Let me undo that. Alright, that's looking pretty cool, actually. I want to smooth this, I think. Oh, wrong side, this side. Smoothing, smoothing. It's not really smoothing it. Hey, Chad. It's temporary. It's temporary, trust me. Whoa, what is this? Oh. Smooth. There is a smooth brush. It was right next to me. I was staring at it the whole time. Okay, so I kind of smooth it, kind of flatten it, and then I can kind of pinch it at the corners, or at the edges. Please be S. No, it's not. S is for scaling. Shift S for smoothing. And F. T. Shift T to flatten. Flatten with a T. Trying to remember these shortcuts. And then Shift S to smooth, P to pinch. Oh yeah, now we're cooking. Shift S to smooth again, T to flatten, S, smooth, flatten, pinch. Smooth, flatten, pinch. All right. Let's see. If I scale this, yeah, it does appear bigger in the camera. And let's grab it and move it. X. No. Grab X. Do I have to be in object mode? Grab X. It's got kind of a wobble now. It's like its center of gravity is wrong. Let's rotate Y. Oh, maybe I can just... Can I recenter it? Can I change its origin? Is there a way to change its origin to the center again? Yeah, how do you do that? Thanks. We're thinking the same thing. How do you do that? It must be a command, right? Transform. How do I... Oh no. Oh no. What have I done? Yeah, the space menu doesn't seem as good as it used to be. Maybe it's in edit mode. Item, tool, view, tool, view. Oh, F3. Let's see. Center. Set origin to center of mass. Okay. Select the object. F3. Center. Surface or volume? Surface. Perfect. All right, let's move this back. Thank you. Thank you for that. That F3 was perfect. All right, let's render that. And then let's bring it into aSprite again. And we'll see what we got. Okay, so one thing right away, I need to change the lighting. I don't want to render any lighting, I don't think. Lighting sucks. Let's see, let's just move this here. Like that. Because, see, this one doesn't have any lighting on it either, really. Oops. Look at that. So small. It's not really kind of giving me the vibes that I want. But I am getting exactly 12 frames. It loops perfectly. No, it doesn't loop perfectly. I need one less frame of animation. I need it to go from 0 to... not 360. I need it to go to... what's 360 divided by 11? And then 360 minus 32. I need to go to 328? Yeah, that looks right. Let's render that. And I should still have 12, but they're going to loop a little better. Yeah. Yeah, I think I still do want to do that. I don't know how to make a transparent shader. I think, what would I do? Should I change the rendering to cycles? How do I even choose that? Oh, the render engine's Eevee. I've never used Eevee before. This is the default now? What's Workbench? Is Workbench the old Blender render? Okay, cool. So I think I understand. I mean, if Eevee is a PBR thing, it looks like it is, then I should be able to go in here. Oh, yeah. Okay. So what if I did a transmission? Doesn't seem to be, oh, because I'm not showing the rendered, right? How How do I change this to the rendered view? I was just doing this by accident earlier. Rendered. Right? Material preview. Rendered. Oh, Shift Z. Okay. So then, yeah, that's doing a thing. Sheen. It should be sheeny. Shouldn't be very rough. Probably shouldn't be 100%. That's fine. Let's do kind of this bluish color. Ooh, that looks cold. What is this? Ah, interesting. What would it look like if I put a lamp right behind it? I gotta take this song out of my playlist. This song can never come back. What is this? Smile by Slink. I love it, but it's too much. Whew. All right. So if I put this lamp right behind it, ooh, inside of it's kind of neat. Getting some rim lighting here. I'm trying to look at this kind of small because I don't want to add too much detail. If I look at it zoomed in like this, I'm going to add a bunch of detail that you can't actually see. Okay, that's something. Don't know what these are. Really impressed that I can get a real-time rendered preview. Whoa. Interesting. Oh, did I lose on my... Alright, let's do that again. Icy and cold. Do a little of this, darker. Inside. Something like that. Kind of like that. Like that. Doesn't really do anything. Can't see anything. Let's see how that looks rendered. I'm not even sure how this is going to come out. Not as transparent as I would like. Whoop. A sprite died. What? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'm doing right now. What I kind of want, though, is I want to be able to see the back face through the front face. I want to be able to see the back face from here. And it doesn't seem like I can. Like, this is way up, right? What if I duplicate this? See, it's not transparent. I can't even see this other one behind it. Why can't I see through this and see this one behind it? Yeah, maybe I should use nodes. Let's do that. Why not? Let's call this ice. Ice. And let's go to the node editor. Where the heck is it? Is it this? All right. What do we got in here? Glass. This would go to surface, right? And would this go to color? No. I would have to add a color input, right? I'm not seeing anything happening. Why not? Yeah, this should be. Unless I changed it again, unless I screwed it up again. It's not unreasonable to assume that I screwed it up again. Right, that's rendered, right? I mean, I did click use nodes. There it is. Okay. I thought I'd clicked it. So this was the old one, which is okay. This is the newer one. I still can't see the back face through here. Is there some kind of like... I was wondering about this. You know what I mean? Like I can't see through it. Right, I've got another one right behind it, but I can't see through the first one to see the one behind it. Why not? Why? Right, it's definitely using the nodes. I turn the roughness all the way down. It's just not as transparent as I would like. Meaning, it doesn't seem to be transparent at all. Part of me is about to give up on this. I feel like there's just a button I need to click. Oh, maybe it's... Let me turn these off. Is it this, maybe? Oh. It's doing something. Maybe that's fine. Thanks for thinking about trying to help me. And you don't have much call for transparent bees, I reckon. Time to Google it. I should have, it was probably way past time to Google it. Transparent EV blender. Okay. This is not an accepted answer. opaque. Switched shading. Transparent. Oh, I'm using glass. Maybe I should change that to transparent. Is there a different one? There is. With no settings on it at all? Transparent and a mix node. Oh, I see. So you'd add a mix. Oops. Something like that. No. Okay. Let's move this, put that, put this. Mm-hmm. Still can't see through it. Switch blend mode to alpha blend, or one of the alpha options. Settings of the material. Settings of the material. Blend mode. Alpha blend. Ooh. Oh, hey. There we go. Okay, so maybe I don't need this at all. All right. Now we're cooking with glass. Let's see. Sorry about that. So if I change the transmission... Okay, so this is doing what I wanted, but you just have to click this secret checkbox and choose alpha blend for the blend mode. Okay, let's delete this guy. Okay, so I'm getting some weird looking stuff here, but this is better. We're onto something. That might be enough. What happens if I... Oh. Do want to show the back face. happens if I delete that? It's fine. Okay. I think this is getting close. Let's render that and see what we get. Again, it's going to be much smaller, but this will be a guide, I think. Why do I have so many Googles open? Oh, Asteroid was waking out. Okay, it's better now. All right, I think maybe this is as good as it's going to get, and I need to just start painting over it and using my my palette and seeing what we get. Yeah. All right, I'm going to start painting over this and seeing what happens. Where is my pen? There it is. All right, let me load my palette. Oh, my default. Here we go. Start with this as the base color. Create a new layer. Start at frame 1. You know what? This isn't. I'm gonna start again because this isn't. It's too round. I want more sharp spikies coming off of it. So I'm gonna do one more render real quick. I don't even know how to collapse these. There we go. All right. Let's go in here and do this. All right. As workflows go, there may be worse ones. I'll say that. AC Valiant, thanks for dropping by. All right, let's do this. Let's load this default palette, get my base color, and then I'm going to do a rough trace over of the contour. And I'm going to enhance some of the features that I'm seeing here to make it more crystal-like. Like that. Let me turn off the onion skin. There we go. So I watched Trading Places last night with my family, the Eddie Murphy movie, and it holds up. Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis, just as good as I remembered it. Yeah, the fraud still rings true. More real than ever. Insider trading, but they deserved it. Anybody named Randolph Duke who lives with his brother Mortimer probably deserves to be on the wrong end of insider trading. That's the takeaway. All right. Oh. Zadami. Zadami? Zadami? Thank you. This one has an interesting shape. Let's see. Make it spiky. The thing about this that I'm trying to keep reminding myself is that it doesn't need to be perfect, because these things are going to be, they're going to be all over. You're going to see a lot of them, but they are background. And they only need to evoke a feeling of ice asteroids. They don't need to be, they don't need to be realistic or anything. And it doesn't need to be, it just doesn't need to be perfect. Good enough is good enough, if you know what I mean. So I'm tracing, but I'm trying to do it fast and not be perfect, and kind of put my own spin on it, I guess, versus what Blender gave me. And the first step here is I'm outlining, just to get the contours looking correct. And I'm going to do a spin around in a second. But then I think what's really going to sell it is to get the interior right. So if I turn off this bottom layer, right? It doesn't look like much right now. But that's the ice thing spinning, right? Let's fill that in. Yeah, why not? Why not? It's just pixels. It's fine. Okay, so you can kind of imagine something spinning there, and it looks kind of spiky because it's got these pointy bits that appear and disappear on the contour. It almost looks like a guy walking. All right, let's turn this opacity down just a bit, just so I can see underneath what's happening. It does kind of look like the Godot robot. The Godot robot. All right, let's do this color, and I'm trying to imagine where are the faceted curves going to be. And actually, let's turn this way down. And then let's trace some of those things. So there's one here. Whoops. There's like something right here. Looks like it goes kind of like that, kind of like that. Let's see, kind of like that, like that. Maybe. Okay. And then the next frame, I'm going to turn the ghost or the onion skin back on. Yeesh. Like that. And you see how it's not doing the onion skin for this layer? Like it does the one before, the current one, and the next one, but not if you're here. But if you take all these layers and you tag them, oops. How do you tag them? New tag, and you call this just, I don't know, just give it anything, any name. Like that. Boy, I'm butchering this. Let's delete this one. I didn't mean to create that one. So now I've got this tag that covers all 12 frames. And now, so there's the blue. Now I think it should be showing it. It's not though. Just do it in front. Yeah, there it is. Do I need the tag for that? Maybe I'm wrong about that. Yeah, you don't need the tag for that. I was wrong about that. All right, let's change it to red-blue because that just helps me understand it better. And let's change it to just the current layer. So as I come up to this, see it's blue, or kind of a purpley blue, and because it's the next frame, and then this is the current frame, and now it's gone again. What is happening? There it is. Okay, so you do need to tag it. I was right. So as you're coming up to it, you can see the next frame is going to have these lines on it because they're purple. And there they are. And then now it's saying the previous frame had those lines on it. And now they're red because red means previous. Purple means upcoming. So I can see those lines. I can use them as a guide to see how they should move. And this is looking like it's going to go something like that. It's going to disappear. I think that's going to go something like that. And something like that. See that? Zoom this up a little bit. That'll be close to actual size in the game. And let's see, I think that's gonna break right there. That's gonna break. Something like that. I think there should be a line here. I think this is wrong. This is the difficult phase of the drawing where you're like, you know, just struggling. It gets easier at some point. At some point you go, you kind of figure it out. But the figuring it out part is hard. I don't even know if I like these lines. These are all wrong. What even are these lines? They're not real. They're not really there on the shape. Let's do this. Let's do something like this. So there's a pointy bit and it's going to come across. Let's do that. Do that. Okay. And there's another pointy bit here. And that's going to kind of come across. Like that. I'm not liking any of this. Oh, thank you, Scooter. Thank you. I'm just having a hard time with this. This is why I didn't want to animate this by hand. Rocks are easier. Maybe... Rocks are easier because they're opaque. You can only see one side of it. You know what? Let's put this in the game. Switch gears real quick. I want to save this as ice asteroid. Like that. And then I'll export it. Like that. Right? Up, 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 up. Yeah, we'll export that. So, I mean, what I'm doing here, this, you know, it's almost like the work I did in Blender was, it didn't help at all. But we'll see, we'll see. So I exported it, yeah. And if I go into here, I can save this scene as ice. and rename it ice. And change the script. Do I need to change the script? I don't think so. I think you can use the same script. You can use all that. All that's the same, but the sprite's going to be different. So it's going to use this. Turn that off. And if I load up my asteroid, let's turn that off too. I was using lighting I was experimenting with it, but it didn't work, and that's where that normal map came in. But maybe one day. That's not so bad, actually. It's funny, right? Like, you can be working on something, but then you see it in the game, and you're like, it's not so bad. All right, let's see. Icy asteroids, Judd. Icy asteroids. So, my asteroid spawner is in here? Yeah. Make another one called Ice Asteroid. I'm just going to load the ice scene from the asteroids folder. And I've got a timer. And it's going to create this many asteroids at most. 10. And it just spawns them in. It spawns them into an empty space. So it queries the physics, it queries the world using the physics server just to see if the position that it's going to put things in. So it creates all this stuff. This is all boilerplate for just creating a physics query. And then it tries to create the asteroids, as many as it needs. And it picks just a random position based on the what? The player position, plus some random vector. And then it queries that location for an object. And if there is an object there, it just tries again. And when there's enough empty space, it adds it at that space. So this prevents asteroids from spawning inside walls or whatever. How do I check what kind of walls are visible on the screen? I could do a collision query against the whole screen and see what kind of walls I'm running into. Yeah, and then it just creates one. All right, so let's see. If I want to query the whole screen, I want to do this. Let's do this. So I'm creating a circle shape with a radius of 600. The screen is 640 pixels wide, so this radius shape will cover everything, pretty much everything nearby. And then I can query. I need to put this, check what kind of walls are nearby. I can query based on the game.player.position. So I'm moving this physics query to the player's position. And then I will do a quick intersection check. Let's just do that and change this one to that. And then I can do for object in area objects, right? If object.collider.entity type ID equals wall. Right, and I can say let's create a variable here called wall types, and then I can say wall types get theme ID. Oh, if wall types their theme equals that. This is horrible. If what I'm trying to do is just get it working. So the code's going to be bad. Pastromicity. Oh man, I want a sandwich. Yeah, the typing effects you can get into Godot in the Asset Lab. Install that. If wall types has ID, then wall types ID that, else wall types set, is that right? Add? Why is this? Does that work? Yeah. Okay, so this will keep a count of the different wall types. And then I can say for IDs in wall types dot keys. And another variable, max, or this would be the most common ID, commonest ID. Let's just set it to red by default, just in case this doesn't return anything. Like, you might be flying out in space not near any walls, which would make this not even run because it wouldn't collide with anything. This would end up being an empty dictionary, and this keys would return a empty array, and nothing would happen. But I need to set a commonest ID anyway. So then I can say, oh rats, I need two variables. max count equals 0. Again, I'm just trying to get this to work, so I'm being pretty rough with the naming of things and the way this code is written. I'll clean it up later if it works. If wall types IDs greater than max count, then commonest ID equals ID and max count equals types ID. So whatever wall, it does a quick query. Let me change this back to 100 down here. It does a query against the physics server to find all the walls and counts how many of each type it finds. Sets the default to the red kind, but if it finds more of one, then it sets commonest ID to that type of wall. And then I can use commonest ID here. Let's do this. This will be red. This will be ice blue. And then whichever one it finds, it adds it and moves its position there. Terrible, 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 terrible. Let's see if it works. What if you added a visibility of each wall section that let the game catch a signal and count references? Oh, that would be another way to do it. Yeah, that might be better. That might be better. I'm a big fan of letting the engine do all the work. The thing I found about these physics queries, though, is that they run almost instantaneously. All right, first error. Yes, I did mean that. Look at that, there's a blue one. So this should only spawn in the blue ones, because there's nothing on the screen but these blue. And if I go over here to the red, now it should only spawn in the red one, or the old asteroids, the rocky asteroids. But it's not. It's not working. Shh. Dr. Monroe, you showed up just in time. Officer Bauer. Oh no, I left my lab experiment running. Major Hellsberg. Hedgelsberg. Wow, thanks. Interpreter Ride. Oh no, I left my... I need some more phrases for these guys. Getting some repeats. Hey guys, how's it? Lieutenant Tolkien. Oh, there's a... Okay, here's some good rocks. So maybe it is working. blue. Maybe I'm getting a... yeah, it's working. That's working. But over here, it's probably already intersecting the blue. I can't see it. But that was a pretty big area. So I'm getting a mixture. That's kind of cool. I can see like, oh look, I'm getting blue icy asteroids. I must be getting near something different. And then sure enough, there it is. And yeah. Yep. And if I fly off into space over here, I should start getting just nothing but the old ones. Yeah, there they are. Because that's the default. Well, how do you like that? It works. Alright, so seeing these in the game right off the bat, one thing that strikes me about them is that they're too dark. They're too dark. They're not transparent enough. They look flat. Oh, by the way, did you hear that? When the bullets hit these ice walls. Hear the sparkly noise? That's the thunk of hitting the rock, and the sparklies of hitting the ice. Ooh. What's going on there? Didn't turn it off. All right. I think one thing I can do here to optimize this a bit, although I don't think I need it, is I can let's decrease this radius a little bit, and I can do a query dot mask. No. Space state dot mask. No. Collision. Oh boy. I'm gonna have to copy some code from something else where I've done this before. There's a way to make the physics query only work on only intersect with certain types of objects. You can do the collision mask. Oops. And I do that in the editor. Here it is. So my collision layer 32 is walls, just because just because that's what it is. All the walls are right there. Value 32. Bit 5, value 32. And that's never going to change. I'm not going to change that as long as I live. So I can do that. What is the default? That's the default. Collides with everything. Okay. So I need to set that back to the default here. So this is for checking what walls are nearby, and this is for checking if anything is nearby. So this runs once. Every time I place asteroids, it runs once just to see what kind of walls are nearby. This sets up the physics query. This checks what walls are nearby. And then this starts placing asteroids and makes sure there's nothing where it's trying to put an asteroid. So in those cases, it makes the radius much smaller and the anything. It needs to just check anything. Right. And this is setting up the physics query. Check if what kind of walls are nearby and place asteroids in empty space. All right, that should be a tiny bit faster, but now I don't need this if condition, because if any objects are intersected, I know they're going to be walls, so I don't need that check. So I can delete that line of code, and then I can say, let's do this just out of convenience. Just so I know what I'm dealing with, right? Give it a name, and I'm getting the ID of that wall, the theme ID of that wall, whether it's a red wall, an icy wall, a jungle wall, and then I count those walls by adding it to this dictionary. And if this wall types dictionary doesn't have that wall in it, it just adds one, creates one, sets the value to 1 for that thing. Otherwise, it increments it. So as we go through all the objects that it intersects with, you'll end up with a dictionary of 10 red, 3 blue. Then it sets the commonest one as a default, tries to find which one of those had the biggest count. So the commonest ID, it just sets the default to red. And it says I've counted 0 reds, and then it goes through all the IDs that I've found, and if the count of that type of wall is greater than the max count, and the first one will be, right, it'll be 1, then it sets it. And then if it finds a different wall, if the next ID had more than that, then it'll change it and update the count. So then down here you end up with a commonest type of wall that was nearby. And it'll either be red or it'll be ice blue. Or jungle or the void or whatever I end up adding later. That's not so bad. That's not so bad. Yeah, the for loops, man. So there's a couple things. That's a for loop, and it's not great, but look at the frame rate. So the frame rate here is 570, right? And it's calling that asteroid placement routine 10 times a second, which is nothing. It's very, very infrequent. Basically has no impact on the frame rate at all. And we can even, let's do this just for fun. Let's put a timer here. Start equals engine.get usex os get usec. Okay, this is how many microseconds. This is millionths of a second. All right, and then we'll do it again down here. Let's just time this business. Print. So what it'll do is it's going to end up printing out in here. Every time that this routine runs, it's going to print out how many millionths of a second this section of code took with its two horrible for loops and its dictionary and all this stuff. This is I think this is a ON algorithm, so it scales linearly as the number of objects increases. But let's just see how many millionths of a second it takes. This should be fun. All right, see those numbers? So we're looking at like 240, 250, 400 there, 300, 290. All right, so let's just be worst case scenario and say that's 400 millionths of a second, right? That's 0.0004 seconds. Which is, a frame is 60th of a second, right? One frame is that. So that divided by that, it's 2% of a frame. So it's negligible. 2 passes for each input. Yeah, it would be 2 times n, right? Not n squared. It would be O2n, right? But because 2n is still linear, I think you still technically just express it like that. They're equivalent as n gets very large. But remember too, we're only dealing with, this dictionary only has 2 elements in it. This wall types dictionary will only have 2, maybe 3 elements in it. And this will vary. You know, there might be 50 walls nearby, there might be 2 walls nearby. Yeah. So, I mean, 200 millionths of a second I can deal with. That's fine. It doesn't make any difference in terms of physics or frame budget or anything, because my frame budget is so high already. I'm doing 400, 500 frames per second, that adding another 200 microseconds to the calculation, it doesn't slow it down. There's nothing, you don't even notice it. But I did optimize it a bit. Because I did this, which lets the engine only collide with walls, which makes this for loop smaller, and I took out an if statement. so there's one less branch. And on top of that, there's the asteroid timer, which only runs twice a second. It runs 2 times a second. It's not even 10 times a second. It runs 2 times a second. So once every 200 frames, it runs 1 time. So I'm adding 400 milliseconds, 400 microseconds of time every 400th frame, every 200th frame, something like that. Not noticeable. So yeah, it looks bad. It possibly could be optimized better. I can think of ways like the suggestion you had of, putting in visibility notifiers on the walls and keeping a tally that way, letting the engine keep a tally, and then I just put that in a global variable, and then I can just check it. Would be faster, I think. That would definitely be faster. And I wouldn't need to do this physics query here. And yeah, that could be interesting. The trouble with that is because the visibility notifier is a rectangle, and the wall shapes are not rectangles. They're polygons with lots of vertices. So that would be a complication. But if I could get it to work, that would be faster. But I think it would be faster in a way that nobody would notice that it was faster. It wouldn't change the frame rate. Yeah, so that's fine. This works. I don't mind these names. I don't mind all the variables it's creating. It's fine. This still seems to work fine, and it's putting out 2 different kinds of asteroids. So the code works. I deleted my print, right? Yeah. I'm going to commit that as a placeholder. Let's commit this as a placeholder. I try to make it when I've got something that works. What is this? Oh, this is work stuff. That's day job stuff. All right. When I get something that's working, right, I commit it. Because, and I try not to commit things that break the game. So I know everything in my commit history. I can go back to any one of these commits and run them, and it works. So I try to never commit anything that doesn't work, that breaks the game. And I also try to commit things as soon as I've got a working copy. As soon as I've got something that is minimally working, I commit it. So this is the asteroid stuff. This is the old asteroid scene. The new asteroid scene. I've got my sprite. And I've got some notes of other things that I did. I'll just take those out. Okay. Ice asteroids first art pass and code. Added ice asteroids. I've tried to write nice commit messages so that, because I have a script here that builds a changelog for me. And if I put private, like that, it puts it in this section. And if I put the word fix in it, or fixed, then it puts it in this section. And everything else goes in this public cool new feature section, new and updated. So to make my life easier later when I actually do a build, I try to write nice commit messages for the ones that I want to make public. Added ice asteroids for near icy cave walls. There we go. Updated notes. All right. So I'm not happy with this yet, but this is kind of my process, is where I get something that's working, right? I get it in the game. I take a look at it. I didn't hate it in the game, but now that it's in the game, I've written the code. This code works. I've done the sound effects, whatever. It's all in here, and the scene is created, and the code for spawning them is created. All that's done, right? So now all I have to do to change the asteroid is go back here and just work on the art and save it, and then flip back to the game and try it out. And I can work on the art and save it, and just keep going back and forth. So this will make iteration very fast now. Now that I've got something at the approximate size and close to what I want, and the code's working, it just makes that whole process go a lot faster now. Yeah. So like if I change this, for example, if I added a little white patch here, right? I can save it, export it, boom, flip over to Godot. It imported it instantly. If you missed it, there was a little dialog box that appeared there. And then I can just run it and see it. See this little white glint, right? Export it again, right? Make a change, export, flip over. Now the white glint's gone. So it makes the iteration process a lot faster. Now they've got all the framework in place for it. So then I can just focus, right? I imagine this is how people work in teams. If you're working on a team, you might have an artist on your team and you might have a programmer on your team, and you'd want to do it this way so that the artist can do their thing and you can do your thing without being dependent on each other. And even though I'm just a solo guy, there's still benefits to doing it that way. If every time I changed the art, I had to go back and also change some code or change an animation or something, I would probably claw my eyes out. So I tend to, just get everything set up in code with some placeholder and then iterate on the art separately. Just goes faster for me that way. All right. Yeah, the frame budget in this game is kind of crazy, and it's because the game is so small. I mean, it's literally small. Is this actually the right size? It's not. The game's native resolution is about that. It's 640 by 360. I think I have a testing. I have like some kind of testing config or something. Yeah, so this is my test width, right? But the native resolution of the game, actually I should turn that off. Why did I have that on? There it is. So that's the native resolution of the game, 640 by 360. So when you're working with a game this small, with this few pixels, it just runs faster. And then when it goes full screen, it's not actually rendering it bigger. I mean, it is, but it's not rendering it at this size. It renders it at the small size, does all the game logic, everything. It does it at that tiny, tiny size. And then it takes the result, just the pixels on the screen, and just blows them up, which is basically a free system call to just make it bigger. And so you end up with these chunky pixel graphics, and the pixels are 3 times bigger than the actual pixels, and it's just kind of all automatic. And I get to draw my sprites at this tiny, tiny size, which makes the art production faster, it makes the game run faster, and you end up with a oh, thanks for the follow. You end up with a frame budget, even for really complex levels like the Gravity Temple, of, you know, hundreds of frames per second. This is a pretty beefy level, and it's still running at 150 frames per second. And I've optimized nothing. Oh. No! What? Not today, Gravity. Not today. Blew up my spare fuel. Sneaky, sneaky coins over there. Who put those there? Oh, maybe it was me. Ah! Played myself. Hey there, buddy. Medic Spolsky. To bring you down this way? Oh, you're so heavy. Get on there. Get on there. Get that gas. Where's the gas? Oh, I didn't get it. Terrible at my own game. All right. So I think that I'm going to call it here for today. Thanks for dropping by, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. I might stream again tomorrow. If I do, it probably won't be game dev. It'll be playing a game. I'm thinking of playing Hive Time. And that's Hive Time by Valiant Cheese on itch.io. Just check it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Back to development stream again on Tuesday night, Thursday night, and Saturday. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. And I'll see you next time.